Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. And today's a shorter practice, so the position isn't as important. You just want to find something generally comfortable and sturdy. Sitting in a chair or lying down works. Just find what works for you. This is also a open eye meditation practice. We don't close our eyes here. However, if you have learned, of course, to practice with the eyes closed, or you feel more comfortable doing so, feel free to do so. There are no hindrances. But if your eyes are open, go ahead and just leave the screen alone and drop them gently down below you, kind of glancing at the floor, the desk, or whatever is just below you. We're not staring or analyzing anything. We're also not zoned out and blurry. We just have a gentle, clear gaze directed softly and gently downwards. You're in a nice, comfortable, seated position, and your eyes are either closed or open and directed down. Let go of everything you know about meditation or any intention you have with today's practice. Leave it all alone. We're not here to clear our minds or to become more attentive. No goals, no ideas, no practice even. Just set all of that aside. And your mind might say, well, then what am I doing here? And set that aside as well. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, and no one to become. Forget every technique you have learned. Forget all your intentions you've sat down today with. You are here. That's all. Are you aware right now? It's a simple question, it's not a trick. Are you aware? There's something so obvious about this question. So obvious that the question itself seems ridiculous. Of course, I'm aware. Where did you have to go to know that you are aware? Hmm? What do you have to do to know you are aware? That's it. That's the practice in a nutshell. Return awareness to awareness. Or, if this is confusing, ask yourself again, am I aware? Well, yes. How do I know? Stay there. And you'll notice, you'll start thinking about it. The mind will try to make something of it, try to talk about it. What sees thoughts? What notices the mind? Become aware of awareness. And when you get lost in thought again, return to awareness. Nothing special, nothing spiritual, just simply aware. And we just stay. And then maybe you're thinking again, or at least paying attention to thoughts. Just return to awareness. The thing you have always been since your birth, simply aware. And completely rest as awareness. All right, you can look at the screen. Now I know this practice, if you show up here regularly, or if you're new to this practice, I'm sure that this one was a little bit steeper. It's a little bit steeper than our other practices. Because really there's two big debates, two approaches, I would say, to a meditation practice. It's the gradual approach and the direct approach. Hmm? The gradual, of course, is developing a sense of mindfulness. And this is the approach I think most people uh, will do best to start with, is to develop a sense of knowing what it's like to not be lost in thought by paying attention to this moment, to some object, whatever, and seeing that thought can keep going on by itself without being attached to it all the time. Now, that's a gradual approach to this practice. But in it, of course, with this mindfulness practice, there's still a sense of a subject and object, that there's something directing attention away from thinking to something else, that there's a subject here doing that. Hmm? So, and of course, the true purchase of meditation is to see through this illusion of I, of me, this story we tell ourselves, which is also just thinking. And so, with the gradual approach, you develop a sense of mindfulness. This is how we do most of our practices here. We develop a sense of mindfulness and then we turn the attention back. Okay, so what am I? What sees it? What sees it? And so we kind of develop this mindfulness muscle to actually give us the capacity to look at the nature of mind, essentially, the nature of our experience. But there's the other way. In Zen, they call this Satori. They call it, sometimes Zen is called the sudden school, or some non dual practice like Advaita Vedanta, or Dzogchen in Tibetan tradition. Or, yeah, anyway. Uh, this is a direct looking with very simple ways. Are you aware? Well, yes, of course I'm aware. Isn't that a silly question almost? It's so obvious. Hmm? And you'll hear people who really see through the nature of mind. They're like, wow, how did I miss that? It was so obvious. Well, The question, am I aware? Are you aware? Well, yeah. Good. Stay there. But then immediately when I say stay there, you'll hear the mind will start going, oh, yeah, but what does he even mean by awareness? I think that, but if I'm aware, then what is not aware of me? And then it'll just start like thinking and trying to make a thing of it. Leave it. There's something that is just immediately obvious, that is ever present, that notices everything, and it itself is free from everything. Not some separate entity in the universe looking in, but identical to experience. And this is why it's called the direct approach is a bit steep, you know. Unfortunately, few people will really be able to see the direct approach and really just understand clearly. But maybe you did on this practice. You saw very clearly. Awareness is awareness. Awareness of awareness. No I, no me, no up, no down, no subject, no object. Just but for most, and if you're new to meditation, it requires a bit of a gradual practice. But sometimes I like to put in these direct approaches because who knows? It might help somebody. But either way, if this is confusing, a little bit too steep, don't worry, most of the practices I do here are not like that. Although, it is important to understand that meditation with the gradual approach can run into the problem of goal seeking and goal orientation, and that's certainly not what we want to do either. But we'll talk about that later, another time. But I hope this was helpful today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for your life. And as always, and without exception, I'll see you tomorrow.